Carro armato a 1-8. Distanza 400. Need cover. Bersaglio colpito. Bersaglio colpito. Carro armato a 1-12. A bruciapelo. Bersaglio colpito.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. After playing a lot of Naval this week for the Imperial Flagship event, I thought I would take some time off to finish spading the VBC PT2. When I spaded the VCC 8060, I was playing it alongside the OF40 and also the VBC PT2, and I've got to be honest, I really had a fantastic time playing this lineup. I felt very mobile, I felt like I could have a huge impact on the game, and everything felt really good. The VBC was a great backup vehicle to the VCC 8060 because it has the 25mm Oerlikon on it. This means that it can be good as a anti-CAS role vehicle, but also at the same time as a highly mobile scout to get around these sides. So when I finished spading the VCC 8060, it was time to take the VBC out in a primary role. So basically a first spawn. And I've got to say, it worked pretty well. It was great against early helicopters. It was good against a lot of vehicles to get aggressive scouting. With its APFSDS, which you unlock at rank 4, unfortunately, you're able to go through a lot of the light tanks that are around the place and just kind of screw them up. You do get an APDS round at rank 1, which is quite nice, which does lack a little bit of pen, but overall it's still fine. Just won't be able to penetrate a few of the MBTs that you run into, especially the Soviet ones, but the APFSDS at rank 4 generally is pretty good, especially from the side for most vehicles. So the VBC was great at getting into positions early, since it is a wheeled vehicle. It is highly mobile, even without the general modifications. Basically all you need is tires and filters and you are bang to go. The transmission and the engine is just kind of extras to help it out, and then you can use those positions to scout pretty much anything you want, and then wait for people to push forward, or you obviously flank around and push forward, use the gun to rat-a-tat, and have a fun time. It was really nice. The only issue I had in the vehicle is sometimes I would just get artilleried out of spots and just die, because the vehicle doesn't have a lot of armor, and it's also huge, so that is something you got to watch out for. But that is something that wasn't really happening more recently because of the audio issues, so therefore you couldn't hear this thing, which was quite funny. It does have an LWS and also LR as well. Didn't really use the LWS too much because most of the time it's so big it's very hard to miss the target, so you're basically looking more to trade with vehicles instead of just letting them shoot you, and the LWS there can only really be used for helicopters if they're from range, if they're locking on to you, which isn't obviously that often. The vehicle itself also has a very fast turret. This turret itself has a very high targeting speed, so this actually made it quite nice because you didn't really need any of the firepower modifications in order to make it useful in that department. So instead, it was actually better to just focus on the mobility stuff and the APFSDS and the APDS before getting any of the firepower stuff, so such as the horizontal drive, adjustment of fire, elevation mechanism, and that was actually really good. So that helped out the vehicle quite a lot. The main thing is you are a massive vehicle, but also you can't really take a shot because you only have 3 crew, 2 of them in the turret, so you have to use your mobility to get to positions to hide yourself so you can be able to pop out, smash people with the 25, and then pop back in again. And you can do it a lot, and you can do it really well. And at 9.0, since it's just below that premium bracket of like 10.3 where a lot of premiums are sat, it works fantastically well at its BR. It actually faces up a lot against stuff like Leopards and things like M60s and stuff like that, and it's very good against them. Highly mobile and moving around them, you can do a ton of work. You have great gun depression as well, even though the vehicle is tall. You have smoke grenades, so you can reposition, and once again, you have this really good lineup, so you can afford to kind of push it to its limits. You can afford to go around the place and play highly aggressive, because you know the VCC 8060 is waiting, you know the OF40 Mark II is waiting. The only thing I would say about this vehicle is its CAS support is very weak. You have a helicopter in the form of the A109, which is one of the weaker helicopters in the game, and then if you actually have a look at the stuff which is available for airplanes, I mean, you have the F-84F, if you ground that out with the bombs. You have the Sabre Dog, which is really not good in ground, the MiG-17 PF, which is also not great, and then also the MiG-15 BIS, which, once again, not great. So I ran stuff like the G91 and the CL-13 just to be able to kind of get it done, but once again, those really weren't vehicles that I actually used that much. Instead, I just focused on the ground vehicles and being able to carry from there. And the VBC and friends were able to do that pretty effectively, and that was because we were able to get to aggressive positions, we were able to kind of marshal the game from there, and certain light tanks are just really, really good for that. The VBC, I ended up with a 63% win rate at 103 ground kills, 23 air kills, and 63 deaths. And most of the time we were having massive impacts on the games, getting a lot of scouts off, getting a lot of positions kind of controlled with it, and that makes it just really fun. I feel like the vehicle does really depend on its munition modifications though, so make sure to get those sorted out. But once again, this is just a really fun light tank from Italy, and Italy have some bangers, and if you are interested in light tanks, it's definitely the nation to go for. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank Schnitzel Stroker, Brendan Quinn, Vilneus, Character Fuel, Carrion Crow, Nicholas Richardson, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, B. Young, Opium Prime, Masonocrat, Lafouche, Alan Hacker, Sem Arslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.